Most welcome to Humanist TV Africa. You are most welcome to Humanist TV Africa. My name is Kato Mukasa. I'm a lawyer by training, but I'm very interested in issues human rights and issues development, but also issues that concern us as people, because I'm a human being first. So this is Humanist TV Africa, and the program is Humanist Interviews. But before that, I want to encourage you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Humanist TV Africa right there, but also our Facebook page has the same name, Humanist TV Africa. Remember, you can also write to us. Our email is info. Our email is right there, info@humanisttvafrica.com, or you can actually send us a message through WhatsApp at +254 7473 56767. Our spokesperson, Brian Kabako, based in Kenya, will be able to respond to you. I want to also remind you that Humanist TV Africa is a registered charity. We are a non-governmental organization. We are not working for profits. Basically, we do volunteer work. Our interest is to empower. Our interest is to connect synergies. Our interest is to educate each other. Our interest is to learn from you, empower, inspire, motivate, but also promote rational critical thinking within us as a people in Africa and as a people in the world. We intend to connect you with the rest of the community, but also with the rest of the world. Now, this is why we exist as a non-government organization registered to offer these kind of services. Remember, we are a big team. We have virtual studios all over the world. Of course, you can get us, but also we have physical offices. We have physical studios in the UK. We have physical studios in the US. We have studios in Kenya, studios in Uganda, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe, studios in Nigeria, and we have studios in Ghana and Sierra Leone. So we are growing network. If you want to join us, please send us an email. Say, I'm in Ethiopia, I'm in Rwanda, I'm in the US, I'm in Europe, whatever country you are, I'm in Asia. I want to connect with you. I want to work with you. Trust me, we shall be able to respond to you, and we shall open up another studio right in your country. Now, today, something very special is going to happen. We are talking to our brother from Haiti. And of course, he's going to be telling us more about his life story, but also more about the work he does. Very important work. Today is the Humanist Interviews with Mr. Regin, or call it Reginald Bien-Aime. He's going to be telling us the best way to say his name. He's right here with us in the studio, and I want to encourage, welcome him in the studio. Brian, please let us have our guest for today join us right now. So, brother, you are most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so much honored, of course, to know that you are part of us and you have accepted our invitation because this is Mr. Reki. And of course, I'm excited because this is my first time to interview someone from the Haitian family. So it's an honor for us as Humanist TV Africa to connect with you, but also to learn from you, because I always say I am a student of life, and we're in a school of life where all of us are learning. So today we are going to have a lesson learn from you, and I know our audience is anxious to hear from you. So may we understand in a brief who is the gentleman before us? Who is Mr. Reggie?
Good morning from here, good evening, and good day wherever you may be. My name is Reginald Bien-Aime, Reginald Bien-Aime in French. But people know me as Reggie Beloved on Facebook, which is why I put Reggie Beloved. And I am, amongst other things, the founder of a group called Haitian Freethinkers. And Haitian Freethinkers is one of the world's few groups founded for Haitians by Haitians that is here to support secular people like myself. I am an atheist, and way back in 2012, I started the group So we just actually celebrated our 12th year in existence. So the group exists to kind of support secular people, find others who are like-minded. And recently there was an email that went out, and I was able to connect with the Humanist TV of Africa, find people. And today's the day that we are finally getting ready to share ideas, share a little bit of my background, and I'm excited for it.
Thank you so much, brother. We are really happy to have you here. Very much honored to have a brother in Haiti, and of course, leading a very important organization. Now, may you share with our viewers how was your growing up? How was it growing up? Was it in Haiti? Was it in the US? Tell us about your childhood a bit.
Sure. So I was born in the capital of Haiti, which is Port-au-Prince. And I immigrated to the United States where I currently reside, and I've been here since December of '88. So technically, I grew up in the United States, but I do have fond memories of my childhood in Haiti. So yeah, so I was born in Haiti, immigrated shortly after um, one of our presidents got deposed. Uh, Baby Doc, he got deposed, and he went to France, and then there was political turmoil. Surprise, surprise. And then my family decided to move to the United States permanently, and I grew up here. And as far as religious background is concerned, my family was Catholic, and eventually, in 2009, I became an atheist. But I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot in between that, obviously. But yeah, so born in Haiti, raised in the United States.
Great. Of course, there's a lot in between that we cannot exhaust right now, but that's very interesting to know that actually you are born in Haiti, but also grew up in the US. It makes you a multinational individual falling into these two worlds, if I may say, that are so near to each other, but of course also far apart in between. I love Haiti in a way because their history is quite interesting. I read about the history of Haiti, and of course, I've been also very disturbed by the sagas, the political turmoil there, of course, the conflicts there, the takeover of governments in Haiti. But I think Haitians are good people, very lovely people with a good culture, and all of that. Now, we are going to be talking about you and, of course, your work as a leader of the Haitian Freethinkers. Now, tell us about your conversion, if I can say it. How do you escape the clutches of religion? I'm from a Catholic background. I have a funny history, of course. You also from the same background. How then did you decide in 2009 and say enough is enough? What was the spark that say made it for you to say enough is enough and I'm leaving?
The spark is an interesting question. I would say if I would have to say the spark, it has to be 9/11. September 11, 2001, as most of you should know by now, some planes hit some buildings in New York and also Washington, D.C. So that caused the world to change in the United States. Wars were started. At the time, I was a young college student who had also enlisted in the United States Army. And when that day happened, I was anxious to find out what the response was going to be. Eventually, my unit got the call that we would have to deploy. So we prepared, and then I found myself as a 22-year-old in the Middle East. Fast forward, I was in Iraq, and I thought for sure I was going to die. And I thought, you know what? I carried a Bible kind of like a good luck charm in my little assault pack. We had like a book bag that had our equipment, and I kind of carried it as like a good luck charm. And I thought that as a believer, as a Christian, it was guaranteed that I was going to go to heaven. However, I thought, all the time that I've been going to church, nobody really explains what happens after you die as far as the details. Do I get my own house? Uh, is it sunlight all the time? So anyway, so I decided, I said, you know what? I've given attention to uh, a lot of other things. Let me give my attention to God. So I said to myself, I did something that's very important, and I encourage all the viewers to do the same thing. And I use a computer analogy. You know how a computer has software, and sometimes the software malfunction and you have to reinstall the software. So the Bible was like a software which I decided to reinstall, but from the beginning. um, so I started from the first page of the Bible, thinking it was going to be a history of the world. I thought it was going to explain the conflict that I found myself in, and it also was supposed to answer my question of what was going to happen after I died, because I really did think that I was going to die or have a high chance of passing away, and so I wanted to find out what was going to happen afterwards. So by starting on the first page and having a very open-minded attitude about what I was going to read, and telling myself that I was going to have a little notebook where I was going to ask all the questions that come to mind. I started my journey not thinking that I was going to become an atheist, because I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know that wasn't even an option. I just wanted to learn the things that I explained about. And so, just chapters in Genesis, the questions were more than the answers. And so I decided to keep reading, and ask less questions, thinking maybe, like other books, the answer would come towards the end or as I kept reading. But the more I read, the more I found out things that I was never taught in church. And eventually I ended up finishing the book. I went and I spoke to my pastor. I did a lot of research. I did praying. I got baptized. I did everything that I thought I was supposed to do. And then finally, my last thing was to meet with some atheists locally down in South Florida. And that's when I realized that these are just regular people. They knew the things I knew, and I could no longer, in good faith, say that I really believed. And so in August of 2009, I accepted that I was an atheist.
Wow. That's another movie altogether. That's another book altogether because it's very impressive. I'm making a quotation because we normally make quotations out of our guests' speeches. You said that the Bible became a software that I had to install or reinstall from the beginning. And when I read it, it helped me to convert into atheism. To me, that's a good one. I think our producer Dennis Bongo is going to take it and make something out of that. Now, having said that, I enjoyed listening to you talking about September 11. I was where and I actually I was out of the university by the time it happened. So I was observing US politics and, of course, Osama bin Laden and all that kind of confusion that came, all that. And I'm really fascinated you went to Iraq to engage in this kind of conflict, which is awesome, but also taking a lesson from there that you reach there and you think, oh, I think my days are numbered because as a soldier, I may end up dying. Then you think about God, because naturally, when you think about death, we think about what next after death. Having been in a Catholic family, I am from a Catholic family, so converting, I can easily relate with your kind of story. But it's impressive that you begin reading a Bible, even you get baptized, but again, along the way, you find it's bullshit, so to say, and then you say, I'm ditching it. That's wonderful. Now, this is 2009 where I've stopped. Then we are going to move on. Now, you have said enough is enough, and you are saying, I think I'm going to lose my faith and think about being a free thinker. Now, how do you start this Haitian Freethinkers Association then? And when
Sure.
was that?
So yeah. So I became an atheist in August of 2009, and then in January of 2010, a massive earthquake hit Haiti, and a lot of people passed away. So that was Haiti's personal 9/11, a very devastating event. And after the earthquake, a Christian television evangelist by the name of Pat Robertson made
Mm.
the very terrible comment. Pat Robinson said that basically the Christian devil is who our ancestors prayed to in order to win our independence from the French, who are also Christian, by the way, Catholic Christian. So the slave owners, who were Christians, Catholics, were defeated by the Haitian slaves after something that we know in our history called the Bois Caïman event. That's a whole thing that we can discuss, but basically, that's what he was referring to. So when he made that comment, I felt infuriated and insulted in the time when people were mourning, people have lost their lives. He was saying that because our ancestors decided to emancipate themselves from the slavery caused by the Christians, that this was the cause of the earthquake, not because of plate tectonics, not because Haiti lies next to a fault line, but because of that event. And I thought that was very, very terrible of him. But he's a terrible person, and his religion makes people say terrible things like that. But anyway, so about 2 years later, I was at a South Florida secular event, and I was sitting next to at the same table next with James Randi. I don't know if you
Oh
guys know who
wow,
James Randi is.
I know him.
So
I died.
so so I met James Randi in person, and
Mm.
I was sitting there at the table, and I was thinking, like, we need to do something. And I felt like I was in the minority, in that room
Mm.
at that place. And I'm like, I felt so alone as a Haitian person. I wondered, how can I find others like me? And then it hit me like I'm somebody, I can do something. So I went home and I spoke to my wife, and she encouraged me to start a group on Facebook. And so that's how Haitian Freethinkers was born. And at the time, my goal was to find just 10 human beings who are like me, 10 Haitians who understood, who get it, that I don't have to um, catch them up on, why it is, that I don't believe anymore. And I'm glad to say that I was successful. And 12 years later, Haitian Freethinkers is still doing wonderful work. And so that's how the group was started.
Wow, that's incredible. That's impressive. Really, you have done a good job. I'm very impressed that you met James Randi. I met James Randi in the UK a few years before he died. And what I remember about him is that he was a person who could debunk miracles. All the nonsense, pseudoscience. The one guy who could debunk it was James Randi. And I'm happy you met him and actually influenced your journey. That's quite incredible. And I'm also happy for you that you have a very supportive wife, because some of us, we are not so lucky. You want to be an atheist? You are an atheist, of course, but your partner doesn't really think that you are doing the right thing. You are lucky that you had one who was your support. Now we have stopped where you talk with your wife, and all of you agree we need to start something. And of course, we create this platform on Facebook and begin reaching out to people. How was it like getting people coming in? Was it easier? Were they asking funny questions? Did you find like-minded people easier?
So once the group was founded, it was just networking and doing
Mm,
stuff. For example, just coming on a show like that.
mm,
You know, One way or another, somebody said something. I'm part of this group, and then I used to, just put myself out there, say, hey, if anybody else who has a Haitian background, or you guys know of any Haitians who might be interested, hey, we have Haitian free thinkers, and slowly but surely the group grew. And I've been fortunate. I've done wonderful stuff like I'm doing with you now. I'm sure this is going to be one of those things that is going to outlive and do some great networking for Haitian free thinkers. But I also have gone to the Atheist Experience in Austin. I was a guest over there, and so doing stuff like that has put myself out there and to show, because the goal is to show other people, whether they're Haitian or not Haitian, because I don't believe in being exclusive and tribalistic, to say like, hey, you know what? It's already hard as it is to be a secular person, unfortunately. So hey, just existing really gives somebody, um, for lack of a better term, hope. To say, hey, there's somebody like me who speaks the language, who gets the culture, um, and that's basically how it started. I've been fortunate to find some people, and I know there's a lot more, because I've done a little bit of research, and according to what I read, there's something in the around 1 million Haitians within the country and outside in the diaspora that would definitely understand, what it is that we're talking about and would benefit from secular, humanist, atheist organizations like Haitian Freethinkers. So, it's only a matter of time, that we connect with more people that get it.
Great. And meanwhile, viewers, may you please check the link there. The Haitian WhatsApp is there. The Haitian Freethinkers email is right there. Their Facebook page, the link is right there. And of course, the blog spot is right there. Please connect with our brothers in Haiti. This is the first of its kind. We want to connect with the world. Africa, wherever you are, connect with our brothers in Haiti. You are in Asia, connect with them. You are in the US, connect with our brothers and sisters of the Haitian freethinkers. Now, having said that, I want to really encourage you, and of course, thank you so much for the work you have done. It's not easy because I remember my own story coming out was really hard. Going on Facebook and say, I don't believe in this kind of shit was really quite hard because the other time I was in Uganda, and Uganda is very conservative. Even your parents,
That's saying it politely.
yeah, even your parents are conservative. Everyone is conservative. So coming out say, I don't think there is God. I don't think I need to go for prayers. People are looking at you as, what's wrong with you? Now, I don't know, first of all, which state are you? Which state are you in the US?
I'm in the state of Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. No, I haven't come to Georgia. I haven't been to Georgia. I've been to a few states in the US. I wish when I was there by the time, I knew you, I would have tried to maybe say, look at this kind of group, because there are some groups I know in the US. There's, of course, the American Humanist Association. I was there in DC. They have a big office there, actually, a bigger building there. And they have other branches. I was in Miami and other areas. We have a network of humanists, of course, in the US. And I know with time, you can actually link up with them. Actually, right now, someone is watching us. It's called Todd Mayer. Todd Mayer is an American humanist and a friend of ours, watches our shows here. I think by sharing with us, I know there are many people are going to come and say, hey, can you actually talk about these kind of things? Of course, Kevin, our brother, senior colleague in Canada, says, is there any physical group of freethinkers, atheists, or humanist groups on the ground in Haiti? Is asking a question. Yeah.
So the short answer is yes, but I don't know how functional they are. So after much research, I was able to find at least one gentleman by the name of Billy Almoza, who is part of Haitian Freethinkers, who is in Haiti, who I've supported directly. Who, when there was a second earthquake that hit Haiti a couple of years ago, that the Haitian Freethinkers and Foundation Beyond Belief, we did great fundraising for, and Billy spearheaded the effort down on the ground in Haiti. So Billy explained to me that it's not easy to have a constant physical footprint in Haiti, because just like us, we're physically far apart, but we're able to use technology. In Haiti, things are a lot different. Their main concern is not so much philosophical exchanges of ideas. It's, social economic survival. Okay. So people are just trying to make it, which I totally understand. And so that's everybody's priority. Then if you can come to meetings. And let's say if you're in Haiti, but your transportation is not reliable. Those are the things that restrict the physical groups from actually having a physical footprint, and thriving. So there are people who are interested. There are members who get it. If you speak to them, they know what I know. It's wonderful. However, it's very difficult for them to function consistently. And so I, by extension, network with them, support them whenever I or we can, and then hopefully they get their basic needs met so that they can thrive and grow. But I know I've met Billy. I've spoken to him. Again, it's very difficult. So I'm going to say that it's not constant and active, but there are he does have his own group. He has his own thing. So that's really the challenge that they face over there.
Yeah, thank you so much. There's Michael Peace. Michael Peace says is following you and likes to be here. It's called Michael Peace. Says happy to be here. People are sending us feedback. Of course, they are watching you and they are giving us feedback. There's Achibuzo Lightworker says keep up the good work, Haitian free thinkers. Thank you so much, guys. I will stop on those messages and continue with our conversation here now. Thank you so much, Reggie. Now, this is quite interesting. Yes, I agree. Kevin Sadner in Canada says he was asking about a physical office, but of course, in the virtue of the internet, most of us actually coordinating virtually. What is so important is that at least we know we have a belonging. That as Haitians, you have an association. And I believe there are so many people from the Haitian background in the US. If you can actually get that team together of free thinkers, I know that with time, of course, we're going to have much more impact back home in Haiti. So to me, that is okay to start like this, and then we grow slowly by slowly. Now, having said that, we would like to know as viewers and listeners exactly what activities you do as Haitian free thinkers.
Well, primarily what I do is try to connect with new members. I'm always on the look for that stray cat, as we like to joke in the community. It's like rounding stray cats. Um, in what I do is I do interviews, right? So by doing interviews, by doing work, and trying to put out information in Haitian Creole, what I'm trying to do is to fill that gap of information in the native tongue or within the Haitian cultural context, so that other people can see and hear and understand. So I always think about my mother's generation. So here you have my mom, prototypical Haitian woman. Why would she listen and to these talks and these ideas? So by putting stuff out there, I'm hoping to get the attention of someone, and even if it's in the future, even if it's after I'm no longer here, they can know, like, what, somebody did something. And so that's the primary thing. Also, we've talked about doing different projects for the community, because we want to let people know that not only that we exist, but that we try to do good whenever we can. We've done it before. We do it in our small way. It'll never get big publicity, but so when we raised money for the earthquake victims, that was something else that we've done. And just little things. I've supported Billy privately. There's other members who know my charity work, but anything that I can do, literally, I will do. And that's the humanist part of what it is that we're talking about as secular people. I care about you as a human, even if you are a believer, actually, because what I want is the best for people. And so um, that's a humanist value. And I just love the fact that once I got out of religion, I could not be sectarian in nature. The us, the tribalism, I can't
Mm.
deal with these people because they worship something different. Oh, I cannot
Mm.
be friends with somebody else because their sexual orientation is different from mine. I think that's ridiculous. So I try to help out as much as I can, and sometimes my help is literally just by talking to them. because people are, have so many issues, and we're here to support all that, even in the smallest way. So that's what we do.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's impressive. I want to remind the viewers, please connect with our comrade brother, Reggie, beloved. The email is right there. The blogspot is right there. The WhatsApp number is right there. We want you to connect with him. If you are Haitian, please, that's the best thing for you to do right now. Reach out to him. Whenever you view this kind of video, please reach out and connect and make a family of free thinkers. And slowly but slowly, we shall be able to change the attitude of our people in Haiti, and of course our people in the world, because one by one makes a bundle. We are here making a contribution, and we know that if all of us get informed, get empowered, of course, prostitutions, crime rate, and a lot of things go down. If people knew the value of humanism, for us in Africa, call it Ubuntu. I am because you are. You are because I am. If you are good, I'm good. Briefly. So if those were values of us Black people, and of course humanity, that we had that Ubuntu of togetherness, of love, regardless of who we are, regardless of our backgrounds, we are one people. And that is humanism anyway, because it makes us human beings. It makes us love one another, work for one another, be there for one another, be your brother's keeper, be your sister's keeper. That is humanism. And I heard you say it rightly. Now, having said that, there are things which we normally say, I'm happy I'm a humanist. I'm happy I'm an atheist. Do you have such kind of cornerstones, such kind of benchmarks, milestones? You say, wow, I'm happy I'm this today, because if I was not this, then maybe I would have been to this. Are there some kind of testimonies? I hate me use that word, but you like a better word, that you say, I'm happy I am a free thinker today?
Yes, definitely. I am happy I'm a humanist because, like I talked about before, I don't have the restrictions
Mm.
that I could have had, had I been really the Christian that I think most believers are. By that I mean, you're restricted in who you can frequent with. Like, I don't look at the next person as a target of evangelizing. Like, oh my gosh, this person is Muslim. I need to share Jesus with them. You know, this person believes in voodoo. Like, what a pity. I have to save them from burning in hell. I don't have that. Obviously people are going to be different one way or another, culturally speaking. You could be different, you could be from the same culture, but you have generational differences. There's always going to be differences, but it does not mean that I'm going to look down upon you, etc. So I'm very fortunate, I'm very happy to be an atheist, because that I'm just free from all those restraints, and I can kind of meet you where you are, kind of understand who you are, and what motivates you. And being that we may not agree on everything, that's fine, that's normal. I can still kind of appreciate you as a human being, and hopefully that, like I said, you're not going through struggles. Like, for example, this might seem unrelated, but this is something near and dear to me. The problems that's going on in Gaza right now, it
Yeah.
bothers me. I don't have to be a Palestinian to feel the devastation, the sadness because of what's going on. And we know there's a religious undertone to that situation. I don't have to be a Ukrainian to feel sadness because of what's going on with the conflict over there. That's just, I think, that's just a human in me. I don't want that. I feel like we have so many challenges that we face together as a human species that should be taking our attention, that all these conflicts really have no place. So being a secular humanist allows me to kind of express these ideas. I can own that frustration and try to work towards a common solution, because it affects all of us, while understanding that there's no God that's going to come from the outside and help us, because that's just the reality of the situation.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You have analyzed it so well that it makes us special. Yeah, I accept it. And those are my own words. Humanism makes us special in a way because we don't discriminate. Whether you look like me or not, we are one people. Whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're Hindu, whoever you are, I look at you as a human being. In fact, you gave very valid examples, which are lovely. Look at the war in Palestine today, the war in Gaza, the bombing, the killing of people. Over 20,000 Gazanians or people in Gaza have been killed. And then some people are happy about it. And some people are simply quiet. But for us as humanists, for us as atheists, said, no, look, wait a minute. These are human beings we are killing. Whether they are Arabs, whether they are Muslims, they are human beings and they matter. This is what makes us proud as humanists. And you have said it well. Whether you are killing Ukrainians, you say, stop a minute, wait a minute. Don't kill Ukrainians. They're human beings like us. Because human beings are important. Humanists value humanity. You said it very, very well. I want to take you back to your own conversation again. Now, you talked about converting, if I can use that word, leaving a religion and then seeing atheism, seeing free thinking, seeing humanism as an alternative, and having read a Bible, which became a software. Those are our words you use. Now, in this journey, do you find science important in your journey? Because there is science, there is dogma, there is superstitions. Is there any role that science plays in you becoming a free thinker?
Yes, definitely. Science does play a role. And I want people who are not scientifically inclined to kind of
Mm,
understand this. Science is simply a tool that we use to understand the natural or the real world. In other words, reality. Okay. And what happened is with religion, in particular, the Bible religions, they give the believer a starting point for questions like where does humanity come from? Okay,
mm,
why does the world work the way that it does? However, those starting points have been proven to be untrue by using the tool of science. Okay, so it's like a ruler. So think of science as a ruler. We take the ruler and we measure. Okay, so Christianity says that we came from an Adam and Eve. Is that true? Well, let me take this ruler and measure. Oh my, it did not meet the standard of truth. Okay,
mm,
so um, it's just a
mm,
tool. So I think it's a wonderful tool. Now, obviously, like all tools, the person can use it for good or for bad. However, we understand it as a tool. As a philosophical approach, it's wonderful as well because it teaches you how to ask questions so that in its best capacity, it keeps you from error. It says, wow, if this is the case, well, how can I find out how this thing that I'm looking for works? It allows you to think a certain way. It gives you a method to apply, um, um, an approach to discover, truth, depending on what you're talking about, usually tangible things, right? So it does definitely uh, play a role. So now that I know, for example, that human beings did not come from Adam and Eve, now we have a conflict between the religion that I was in and science. And science doesn't say, hey, just believe me and at the face of threat. Science said, no, 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 I'm not just saying it. Look, I can show you. I can show you that what I'm saying is true. You are free to take this measuring ruler and apply it at home. You can apply it at the church. You can apply it in Uganda. You can apply it in Sierra Leone. You can apply it in England. You can apply it in space. You can apply it in Japan. It doesn't matter what
mm.
language you speak. You can take this ruler, you can apply it. You should all get the same answer. And that's the wonderful thing about science as opposed to religion, right? The religions that I know, one says Adam and Eve, the other one says this other thing. Is it Muhammad? Who is the prophet? No, 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 no. It's this one. It's all basically subjective, but with science, it's more um, objective. That ruler can be applied by several people, and they encourage you to say, you know what, if it's wrong, show me how it's wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. I love that aspect. Religion has nothing like that. It's fiat. It's just what I say. Who has the might? Who can control? Who can promote the fear? And how dare you ask questions? How dare you question the mullah? How dare you question that leader? Who do you think you are? It's vastly different. So,
That's
yeah, that's what I would say.
sorry. That's wonderful. I was actually smiling here from ear to ear as you were digesting, diagnosing the problem with religion. I love that kind of analysis. It was really spot on. There you handled it. And I like the statement you made, which I wrote down here, that science gives us a ruler to measure the standard of truth. I love always picking quotations from my guests because I keep on memorizing them and you make quotations out of them. Our producer makes quotations out of them and then publicizes them as catchwords from our show. Now, you said something which was very, very important. You said that kind of yardstick, it gives us to measure the standard of truth. And that is spot on because the religion, as you said rightly, is about fear. Religion is about control. How dare you question God? Who are you? What the hell are you? Who do you think you are? Are you bigger than God? Intimidation. I went to purely Catholic schools, and I can tell you in Uganda it was worse. I don't know about the US, but in Uganda, you couldn't question a priest. You couldn't dare to question a priest. So some of us were really hardcore. I was suspended. Say another story of another day in my secondary school because I was always very ambitious and always very, very inquisitive. I was very, 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 very debatable. Issues are debatable. I always inquire. I always disagree with priests. And then I had to earn my suspension in '96 in a school, very Catholic school called Blessed Sacrament. You can even hear the name, Blessed Sacrament Secondary School. And you are the head boy, and you refuse to go to church, and you refuse to go and become an outer boy. At the same time, you are questioning priests and teachers. At the same time, you are leading a strike. That was my story, briefly. Now, going back to yours, again, let us look at the religion itself, because we talked about the religion itself. Um, Viewers would like to hear from you. You read the Bible as you said, and then you uninstalled it from your brain. Are there some things in the Bible that you see are bizarre, are absurd for any critical thinking mind to think they're true, that you can share with the viewers?
Oh, I mean, the whole thing, the entire thing is bizarre. Um, Ooh, well, okay. I'm gonna share with to me like the most bizarre, I guess, thing. It's
Yes.
not necessarily superstitious in nature. So, okay, so the
Mm,
Jewish people are the people of the book. I thought the Bible was supposed to be a book about humanity. Really, it's a book about
mm,
one group of people. Okay, so
mm,
the Jewish people, according to their own story in the Bible, went through um, slavery, right?
mm.
In,
Yeah.
in Egypt. Then they go and they enslave other people. That is one of the most fundamental, basic thing that causes cognitive dissonance as an outsider now and outsider
Mm,
then for me to say like they don't see that they are doing wrong. It doesn't matter if God is telling you to do these things. This is wrong. And in the real life implication of this is this. The Jewish people, again, the real human beings who went through the horrific things um, of the Holocaust, right? Everybody knows they suffered horribly in the hands of the Nazis, right? They then gonna go and start the state of Israel in 1946. And we see how the Palestinian people are suffering now in basically a modern apartheid state, right? So this is
mm,
the real reality. They suffered in the past. Another group of people is suffering uh, because of ideas that happened in the past. And not only that, those same people, having gone through genocide, with the Holocaust, have no problem defending a book that promotes the founding of their nation in their book, in their own words, confessing that they wiped out people in order to take land. That is the most bizarre counterintuitive, heinous doublethink that I can think of. And it has real world repercussions because we're seeing people suffer right now. But besides that, of course, the miracle stuff we can talk till the cows come home. A virgin gives birth because they got impregnated by a ghost.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to take this serious. So that's one thing. A man held the sun with his arms at night, at the daytime, so that his soldiers can have the opportunity to kill more humans. A donkey spoke. Okay, a god who put a tree which is bad in the middle of a garden blames his own children for eating something that supposedly he knew that he was going to do, and then puts a fence around the garden when he could have done the same thing around the tree. I mean, we can have a good time talking about the silliness, the evil. However, I think the first thing that comes to mind is the genocide and the people, and yeah. So
thank you, Reggie. I mean, you are very good at explaining these things, and I'm really happy that we are here because I enjoy every word, every statement you are making. I'm just smiling here because I like people who are, don't hold no prisoners. I mean, that kind of candid talk and exposing these kind of things. You talked about something very touchy to me. I love Jews, of course. Some of my mentors have been Jews, basically. So what I'm going to say doesn't mean that I hate Jews, but I hate people who want to subjugate others. I hate people who think that they are superior to others. I hate racism at whatever level it is. I hate apartheid at whatever level it is. And truly, I don't like Zionism. I haven't said I hate it, but I don't like it that much. Now, when I look at what's happening, following your example, you look at the people who were enslaved for thousands of years, who were chased away from their land, beaten by the Babylonians, Assyrians, Persians, the Arabs, the Muslims. I mean, everyone was witch hunting the Jews until Hitler banned 6 million of them, which was a very bad thing. But today, you look at these fellas, their leaders, who were imperialistic in nature, who were sadly supported by your own government. I always say I used to like Biden, but today I doubt his credibility, supporting a genocide in the name of supporting allies without minding about children, women, pregnant women, old people, innocent people being killed in Gaza every day, and is so happy doing that, giving them guns and money. To me, is an absurdity thing to think about. Now, having said that, when you look at what's happening there in Gaza going forward, to me, I call it a Holocaust revised. They did it to you. The Germans were obstinately bad. Hitler was a rascal, was an animal, was evil. But whatever Hitler did to you, you are doing it to the Palestinians. So what's the difference between Netanyahu, for example, and Hitler today? It's zero. You are doing exactly the same evil that was done to you. And even you go ahead and quote in the Bible, the book is called Melechite. I was watching TV and I see this Netanyahu man says, read for his soldiers the book, I think it's Samuel, which talks about Melechites, where Jews were being told to go and kill everyone because their damn Bible, which is called the Torah, part of the Torah, but also it has a different name, of course. Their book allows them to go and kill. And the killing doesn't spare anyone. So you can see, taking it from you, I mean, that is Holocaust revised. Now, as humans, going back to our conversation, we said, no, wait a minute. Even when we disagree, there are rules of engagement. You're a soldier. I haven't been a soldier, but I read military law. I'm a lawyer. I read the law. I know the law of conflicts. If you're in a conflict, you spare children, you spare invalids, you spare women, you spare the old. You don't fight someone without a gun. You create a safe passage. I know the law of the conflict, but look what's happening in Gaza. Nothing like that is respected. Everyone is bombed, including churches, including mosques, including hospitals. Now, as humans, we say, wait a minute, that's being barbaric. Now, going back to you, as we conclude, of course, this is your this is your interview, not mine, of course. We have 9 minutes. We are going to use them profitably, and we want to promise our viewers we are going to have Reggie back. We shall have him back, and we have a part 2 of this conversation. But before we go away towards the conclusion, I want to encourage you to please look at the screen. There is a blog spot for Haitian atheists, blog spot. There is a Freethinkers WhatsApp number right there on your screen. If you are anywhere in the world, please reach out to Revy, connect, work with them, do that kind of synergy. There is an email right there, haitianfreethinkers@gmail.com. Also, their Facebook name is right there, Haitian Freethinkers blogspot. But of course, also Reggie told you has a Facebook name, which is Reggie Beloved. Having said that, we are going to the last lap of our show. Remember, we're going to have a second one with our comrade brother here. Now, Reggie, in conclusion, I want to hear your takeaway, your parting shots for today. I would have asked you another big question, but there's no time for that. Now, looking at how you have been since 2009, and this is now 2024, quite a number of years you have been into existence. Are there some achievements we can say, yes, you have registered as Haitian Freethinkers, worth sharing?
Achievements?
Yeah.
I think the number one achievement is to find other Haitians. You know, my original goal was 10. I don't know what number we're at now. The group has about 500 people, but if you ever are part of a group, you know that some members are more active than others. So I've surpassed that very humble goal, and I'm very happy about that. So the second thing is I'm very proud of is that we were supposed to support people, real people, after the earthquake, and I started some videos to kind of educate people about how earthquakes are actually formed in Haitian Creole. I need to do more of that, you know, because my Haitian Creole is probably from 1982. You know, not the best, but you know, I'm trying. So that's another achievement. And just existing and being open to believers and unbelievers, and also talking to people like you, because, you know, I'm a human. I know we're talking about, you know, Humanist Interviews Africa. My ancestry is from Africa. I've traced my roots. I'm proud of that. I believe that we should be united. I love, you know, the people of the continent. I look forward to visiting, and I just want the best for everybody. I really, really do. No matter who you are, no matter what your culture is. So yeah, that's my parting shot. That's my achievement. And wherever you are in the world, thanks to WhatsApp, you have the number 678-820-9474. I'm so wonderful because, Kato, if you remember back in the day, it was so hard to communicate. Now it's so easy. So let's use these tools. You can always text me. It doesn't matter. 24/7. I will get back to you. And I just look forward to connecting with more like-minded individuals. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity.
Yes, we are going to again have more other 2 minutes to speak. Not yet done. Now, having said that, I want to thank you so much. Of course, you have been very wonderful a guest to have in the studio. It has been very, very good for me. And I believe also our viewers have enjoyed having you, having your company. You are very eloquent. You have a good history. And of course, you know your subject very, very well. It is very impressive to share. And of course, we want to listen more to when we go into the next episode, where you'll be telling us more about what's happening in Haiti, what's happening in the US. Of course, there are many things happening right there, things to do with how our people are being handled, issues to do with human rights and all that. Because humanists, wherever you are active. Wherever you are doing good. Of course, your experiences here and there in our kind of work. We draw lessons from you, we learn. We can also have a topic, we discuss it here. It's not always about you. Today it was about you, knowing you, but tomorrow it will be about another subject. Then you give us your own expertise. We get to know from you, we learn from you about things in the US. You share with us. We get to know because we're on the ground. For us, we are not on the ground. You have the experience which you don't have. That's why we keep on bringing our guests back to share with them, to learn from them about their own experience. Now, of course, I know there are challenges in your organization. Maybe as we conclude, you may share with us some of the challenges, but also uh, um, find a way of encouraging your viewers, of course, your membership to think positive. Think positive. Are there some challenges? Of course, I know they are there when you are handling a virtual network. They are there, which you may share with us. But there are also some bottlenecks, but also some gaps. I mean, some stoppers, some limitations, some controls you have to avoid this. So, what are those best challenges we face as Haitian free thinkers? But also, what are your strategies to handle these challenges?
Okay, thank you for the question. What challenges that we face? I think the first challenge that we face is to getting out there. So there's two populations, right? Those who get it, like, I'm speaking and they understand, or they're in that same mind state. They just want to learn more. They're captivated, like, oh, I want to learn more. Oh, I thought about these things. And then there's that very religious population who look at me and think that maybe I'm an agent of the devil, and they don't even want to give me the time of day. So I want to speak to that population as well, because I've been doing this for a long time. I think I'm pretty good at kind of feeling people out and what it is that get to them. I want to make them feel like I want to tell them that I'm not here to convert them. Just sharing a little bit of information about something that they claim that they're passionate about, their religion. Um, and then everything that I say should resonate with them. So that's one of the challenges, just to getting out there, talking to those two populations. The second challenge is the language, right? So I love what you do, because I think you will understand what I'm saying. I'm speaking English right now. There's a lot of resources in English. I'm assuming you speak another language. Haitian Creole is our mother tongue, right? So there's not, I think, enough material out there, and they're not easily accessible, so that people who are curious want to say, you know what, that Kalam cosmological argument, I don't know about that. What's a fallacy? Give me some examples in my native tongue. And in our culture, you know, remember when that Imam said that? That's an example of this fallacy. So that's another challenge for us, to try to provide uh, real tangible examples that is culturally relevant. That might be, man, because let me tell you, when I watch a lot of media from Nigeria, for example, because a lot of Haitians come from West Africa, I see myself in the Nigerians, and I believe if I knew Ugandan culture more, I think there's a lot that we have in common. So again, providing those culturally um, uh, specific examples of how to critical think is the challenge for myself, for the Haitian community, and maybe you with Uganda, or any other the local people that are doing the work. Those are the challenges that I'm hoping to um, work on and overcome, and do continue to do this work. So
Thank you. Now we are finally done. But as we are done, I want to say thank you so much, Todd Mayer. I've seen your messages here and the likes. Todd Mayer in the US, Tonoy Emeralds in Germany, Michael Peace, Apijay Danka in Ghana, and all of you guys. Time is not our best ally, so I cannot be able to read every message, but I'm happy at least you are watching and making a comment here and there. Thank you so much for loving Reggie here. Reggie, now you have a team, of course, of your members. As you say goodbye, of course, you also want to know from our end, how can we help as Humanist TV Africa? Is there any way we can be able to help your team, your work, your efforts?
the number one thing that you guys can do is just continue to do exactly what we're doing. Uh, by making these interviews, by doing the stuff that you're doing, it helps me, because again, there's a perception out there that humanism, atheism is not for people that look like me and you, and that could not be further from the truth. The other thing that you can do is just by networking and pointing each other to, like, so if I meet somebody, for example, who is from the local area, Uganda, or was living abroad, now I have a contact. I can say, you know something, I know somebody, and I think I have something that you'd be very interested in. And so, Haitian Freethinkers, the group is on Facebook. Everybody who's looking at this is welcome to request to join in. It's all about building that stuff, because when projects come, I'm telling you, somebody knows something that can, point you to the right direction. And so that's what I would say. That's how you would help. And by talking about things specific to our cultures that are problematic, that we feel that we can help, that's the other thing that I'm sure in our future interviews we'll talk about. But that's how we can help.
Thank you, brother. This is the last for today from you. Our time is up. We always have 1 hour for this wonderful show. First, we are going to have a Reggie Beloved here again when he is free, and we can have him back to talk about this and that in our next conversation. It won't be an interview, it will be just a conversation on a given topic of his interest. Now, viewers, I want to encourage you again as we conclude, please, the contacts are there. Contact our brother here, Reggie Beloved. The contact is right there. Haitian Freethinkers via WhatsApp. The number is right there. But also the email. The email is haitianfreethinkers@gmail.com. But also their Facebook name is right there. Haitian Freethinkers. Facebook, Blogspot, haitianfs.blogspot.com. Thank you so much for being part of us, giving us this time to be part of us today. We want to thank you so much for being a wonderful guest. I have to tell you, I've learned quite a lot, and I'm happy you made it. Hope we can see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.